We all know by now Starfield's shipbuilding system has a lot of depth to it, but one thing is unclear, and that's how large can you make your ship in Starfield. There have been a lot of posts on Twitter, X, and Reddit, and many other places trying to figure out how large can we actually make these ships, and there are some images of massive ships in game that we might not be able to create ourselves, like this one. However, we have some clues with limited information we have been revealed to. So in this video, I'm gonna try to piece together that information to figure out how massive can you make ships in Starfield. The first image gives us an idea of how big of a ship you can actually create yourself in Starfield. First, to point out the obvious, we have a human on the front end of the ship. This gives us a good reference point for the size of the objects on the ship. The next thing you notice next to the human is the giant defensive laser or turret system. I'm gonna assume this is a later game turret because it's multiple times larger than my guy standing right here. We can also see what looks to be about 4 cargo containers on each side of the ship, and this looks to be height-wise a little bit larger than the human standing there on the ship. Then another reference point I like to point out are the cockpits of all the ships where you control and fly from. This is because obviously it needs to be large enough for a human to fly and control the ship from, so you can really put in perspective how large the ship really is based off of the cockpit of all the ships. Alright, I'm done saying ship, I'm tired of that word. This one is obviously a lengthy boy, but we get another shot of just one of the engines on this thing, and yeah, the engines are massive. During one of the showcase videos, we get a chance to look at them putting on this Supernova 2000 engine. As you can see right here, just one of these engines is valued at 19,100 and has a mass of 334. To put that into perspective, the beginner frontier ship weighs in at a total of 359 and is valued at 7,375. I'm going to throw up some other ships to kind of get a reference to how big these things are and how much they weigh and how much they cost. We can also see it shows 46 meters in length, and how they measure this is from the center of the ship outwards. Let's just say the front of the ship is about the same length of the back of the ship, since it should be looking at the center. That would be 46 meters times 2, which would then give you just about under 302 feet in length. Now this ship is pretty massive, however for sure you will be able to make a larger ship than 46 meters in each direction. There are some rumors or speculations that 100 meters in each direction is the cap. Nobody actually knows what the limit is on it, so let's just make that clear. We also get a chance to look at this Optimus Prime build. This shows off that you can make these ships much taller and you don't have to stick to that long, flat, lengthy ship build design that we see time and time again. This also shows that you can get real creative with your designs and it doesn't need to be realistic. I love how Bethesda still realizes that this is a video game and it doesn't need to be one-to-one with real life. Sure, we love some realism to immerse ourselves, but we know we are still playing a video game and it's fun to see that there's still a bit of pizzazz in the game. Then we also get this image of a very large ship that has 3 other ships docked to it on the sides. I don't think we can actually build a ship like this. If we can, that's awesome, but I definitely would be surprised. I'm assuming this is a ship just outside of random planets that you will be able to dock onto, go inside, and talk to different NPCs to maybe trade or get some quests from. However, I could be wrong. If we want to look at how big this thing is, first let's look at the cockpit. Yeah, that thing is very small in comparison to the actual ship. And that cockpit looks to fit a crew of, let's just say, 6+ people, so yeah. We can also take a look at their defensive turrets or lasers. Those things look super small. These turrets might be the same, if not similar turrets to the one we saw earlier that was much larger than our little human friend. Also, if we look at the back, we can see 2 engines stacked on top of each other and another one to the side. We can assume there is another one on the bottom of those engines, so in total, this ship most likely has 6 engines at least. So yeah, it might be safe to assume we can't make a ship that large, but hey, if we can, I'm all in for it. But that's about all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get a rough estimate of how large these ships really are that we can actually make in this game. From what we have seen so far, I think we will be able to make some ships that are slightly bigger. It's tough to really tell how large of a ship we can actually make in Starfield, but I hope you guys do have a rough estimate in your brains now. As more updates for this game come out, I think maybe we'll be able to expand upon how big we can make our ships. But I'll be making more Starfield videos in the future, so if you've made it to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, subscribe, just think about it, and hit that little sub button. We do appreciate that around here. Make sure to use code schlayerr on all your G Fuel and newer purchases. Get yourself 20 to 30% off. Those links will be in the description. And as always, boys, this is schlayerr, and I'm out. Peace.